Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Julie. Hello, hi, how are you? I'm so excited to share today's video with you. I've been planning it for so long and I've been trying to find the best books possible for you to read this autumn. So I have everything written down to help me go through this video, because today's video is going to be an autumn book guide. The ultimate autumn book guide, I think. I've categorized this by genres, so I will try and do that in the video as well, so you can just check the genres that you want if you just want to read one genre, or if you're actually curious to know which other genre I added to this autumn book guide, then just keep on watching. So the first genre I'm going to talk about is the one that I love the most to read in autumn, and that is the fantasy genre. So this is for the dreamers, for the one who love to escape the world, to just go into a magical place and you know, dream a bit. So I do really love fantasy during autumn, and I think this is a genre you should definitely read during autumn, because it is the moment where you want to escape. I do love the autumn weather, like it is my favorite one because it makes me want to escape the world, and fantasy is the best way to escape the world. So yeah, so let's just start with this book that is the perfect autumnal fantasy reading, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So this is a dark fantasy book, I think. Not the most fantasy thing that you could expect from fantasy. There is a lot of fantasy, but there are no elves, there are no fae, there are no whatever you can find in fantasy, dragons. There are not all of that, because it's pretty dark. It kind of has that Peaky Blinders vibe to it, do you know, like dark streets and dirty streets and all. Well, this is it. It talks about a heist, fan family trope, magical things happening in here obviously, and yeah, I just think it's a really good book to read. I don't want to summarize it for you, because I like personally to go into the books without knowing what it talks about, and if you want to know what it talks about, I will leave all the information down below so you can check out for yourself. But otherwise this video is going to be way too long, so I can't do that. I'm sorry. But Six of Crows, definitely recommend it. Now, one that is very obvious for autumn is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This one feels a little more Halloween-y, like really dark. It talks about the wicked that are the princes of hell, and there are 7 of them, you know, like the 7 sins. Well, it talks about that. There's a romance in here. It's amazing. Fantasy, well, dark, romance, enemies to lovers. You definitely want to check that one out. The second one feels even more atmospheric. I really love it. It's really, yeah, I feel like these readings are really atmospheric one, because I think this is like the most important thing in autumn. You want the atmosphere. Well, you got it in here, and the second one even more, and I'm really excited for the third one that is coming out at the end of the month. I'm not ready for that, but I'm ready for that. Next book is, I don't know why, maybe because of the cover, I really think it's autumnal. Also read it in autumn last year, but it also has like that fantasy vibe to it that I really found autumnal, and that is These Holy Vows by Lexi. So this one is a really fantasy book with faes and the CD chord, really fae vibes, really fantasy. Love triangle, enemies to lovers, friends to lovers. A really dark character that I like, really morally grey character that I absolutely love. And the second one is really, so the second one is the last one. Yeah, it is the last one. Yeah, it was really good, like really good. I absolutely love this duology. It was so well done. Maybe the first one I found was a bit too similar to Court of Thorns and Roses, but I still enjoyed it really much. And the second one is really different from Court of Thorns and Roses, which I really liked, and I just loved it so much. And there's one character in here that I just adore. He's everything. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one. It feels very autumnal, very atmospheric. There are a lot of things at stake in here, so really read this one. Then the last one I'm going to talk about in the fantasy genre, I could have added more, like I know, but I didn't want it to be too long because we have all the genres, and there is one genre that I'm going to talk about a bit more because it is the autumnal genre. But yeah, so definitely could have added a bit more, and if you have recommendations, don't be afraid, share it in the comments. These are the ones that I thought were not so known and are really good for autumn. So yeah, last one is Little Thieves by Margaret. Owen. I loved this book so much, and I just learned that there will be a second one, and I'm so happy. I read this book last year. You can find me reading it in one of my vlogs, because I did vlog it, and I was so surprised with this book. Like, the ending I absolutely adore, and the story was so good. The ship in here is like the best one ever, like really. Enemies to lovers, they are always fighting like each other, you know, like it was so good. The male character is really surprising. I've never really read a book with a male character like him, and I was so pleased with that. Like, he was really cute. I loved him so much. The girl, she's amazing. It really is a Morally Grace story with, like, the beginning of the book, you hate everyone. Like, well, not everyone, but you hate the main character. It's a fact. You just hate her. She's a bitch. And the more you read it, the more you know about her a bit more, and the more you learn to love her. I loved this story so much. It is, I think, a retelling of a tale, and I don't remember which one it was, but it is a retelling, and it was, I feel like because it is a retelling, it is really atmospheric and so really autumnal. And I just would never recommend this book enough. Like, really, it is so good. You have to read it. You will thank me later. Next genre I want to talk about, kind of categorize a few genres together in one category, that is horror, thriller. There is one fantasy book that I didn't really know where to put it, because yes, it is fantasy, but then I feel like it also can be in horror. I don't know. I just didn't know where to put it, but I had to put it, and that is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. It really is huge, but it is one of the best books that I've ever read in my entire life. I cannot tell you enough how this book is just a masterpiece. The writing is so amazing. The foreshadowing in here is like mind-blowing. It's just, is perfect, okay? And it talks about vampires and an entire kingdom that was taken by the vampires, and they were Silversands trying to kill all the vampires, but they all disappeared, and there is one last one, just one Silversand, and that is Gabriel de Leon, and this is the character that you will follow in this book. Just the best book ever. Honestly, it is so atmospheric. It is so amazing. My tears stain the pages. As you can see, I've annotated it. It was just perfect, and I cannot even say something bad about it. It was just so perfect. You have to read it. Oh my god, I didn't see that. VE Schwab actually did a review of this book, and she said this book is bloody brilliant. Exactly. Next book is also kind of an obvious one for Halloween, autumn, horror, thriller, spooky reading, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. So this is like really gothic book. It has a really gothic atmosphere to it, which I loved. It is so good. It is about Jack the Ripper, so it is kind of scary, you know. I just love this one. This one, and also Hunting Prince Dracula, could really fit into the autumn book guide, because it is autumnal Dracula, Jack the Ripper, yes, Halloween. This is all you need. There is a romance in here. The ship is just so perfect. Enemies to lovers, kind of. The man in here, he is the icon. He is just the icon. And it definitely could never recommend this book enough as well. It is so good. It is a fast reading. It is really good. Otherwise it wouldn't be in my guide. But yeah, you got that one. Next book is Gallant by VE Schwab. It is more horror than thriller. It is one of the most atmospheric books I've ever read. It was so good. quite surprisingly good. It is really short, so this is a really good reading for Halloween because you can read it in a day, so you could definitely read this on Halloween. There are ghosts. It kind of, I've already said that in one of my vlogs, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it is Crimson Peak meets Hunting of Hill House and Hunting of Bly Manor and mixed together. This is this book. It was creepy. I was scared reading this. And then it was just so amazing, like really just so amazing, so atmospheric. Once again, sorry, repeating myself, but it really is a good Halloween book to read. Then I added another book in this category, though it is not a book that I personally liked, but I feel like it is a book that could be really good for autumn, Halloween in the horror category, so you might like this. I didn't personally think it was amazing. I think I gave it 3 stars. Like, it was good, but I was expecting something more. I felt like it was a bit repetitive. But read it and you will tell me if you like it. And that is Lexi by Lyndall Clipstone. Lyndall, oh gosh. If that's the name, I'm a queen. Because I read this book last year. Lyndall Clipstone, that is, wow. So Lexi, it is atmospheric, kind of creepy, but basically there's this girl who goes into this property and weird things happen here, and there is this guy, there is a love story, which I kind of liked. And I think it is enemies to lovers, well, I kind of say enemies to lovers, but it's not like they're all enemies, it's just that they don't really like each other at first. I mean, she doesn't really like him and then she learns to love him. So is it enemies to lovers? I don't know. But yeah, really like that. It is atmospheric, kind of creepy at some point, but not like Gallant, okay? But yeah, as I said, I felt like it was a bit repetitive at some point in the book, so I didn't necessarily enjoyed it that much, but I feel like it could definitely be a really good autumnal reading. So you choose if you want to read it or not. Then the most iconic genre of autumn, and that is dark academia, of course. So this genre, if you do not know what it is, the main thing of this genre is that it happens usually in a university. There is a certain amount of characters and you just follow them. Usually it's a group of friends, they're together, and the main thing in the dark academia genre that happens is that there is a murder or someone who dies. There's kind of like this claustrophobic vibe to it and stressful kind of vibe. That is like the main dark academia genre, what it really is, but then you can kind of change it a bit. Usually what stands out in these books is that all the characters are morally grey. There is no good or bad. They are like fucked up and you just like, oh, kind of like them still. That's pretty good. So yeah, really love this genre. It is definitely a really autumnal reading because there is the atmosphere and there is the thriller vibe to it, and it's just an entire thing all together. Perfect. First book I want to talk about in this category is The Maidens by Michaelides, or Michaelides, still don't know how you pronounce this. This book, I loved it so much. So I know there are a few bad reviews on this book, which made me really anxious when I started reading it. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be bad. And I think I read this after reading Empire of the Vampires, so kind of like that. So I just had like a really good reading and then I was like, I'm scared. Let me tell you that this was just so good. Really good dark academia. Really good dark academia. I don't even know how to, wow, that was just really intense, really surprising. I feel like in dark academia, because there is such a stressful vibe to it, you kind of think of all the scenarios that could have happened, you know, like who did it, and you kind of think of everyone that could have done it, and in the end it's always surprising. Like, it was never the one that you thought it was, or it was something different, kind of. Well, that one, yeah, same. I was like, oh my god, okay, that is definitely not what I was expecting. It is so good. I feel like I'm going to repeat myself in this entire category because it is the atmosphere, it is dark, it is stressful, it's like, oh my god, who did it, what happened? Next one is a bit more young adult dark academia. Really easy reading though, and I really loved it. There are 2 books and the ending was perfect. It was definitely the ending I wanted for this book, and I'm so happy. And this one is The Magpie Society by Amy McCulloch and Zoe Sugg. This one was as well like really good, but as I've said, it's more young adult. It's an easier reading but really good reading. There are a lot of things happening in here. It is just so good. You know, it's just like full of secrets, dark secrets. Really amazing, full of, yeah, oh gosh, I'm just really bad, right? I just don't know, it's just really good. Still, it's dark academia, so yeah, if you want to actually discover this genre, I would recommend this one because it's an easier one than the other ones I'm going to talk about. But yeah, definitely amazing. Next one in dark academia is a fantasy dark academia, so we kind of mix it up, and that is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. The Atlas 6 is a heavy reading. I feel like any Olivia Blake's book is a heavy reading. The writing is really beautiful but really difficult to get into at first, and this one as well, you know, especially since it's full of information about the magic system, world building and all. But it is so good, so good. It is Olivia Blake. She's perfect, she's a queen. She just, all of her books are just so amazing. This one, same, really amazing. But this one I would definitely not recommend if you're trying to discover the genre because it is really heavy. Next one is also a fantasy dark academia one, and that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This one, same, perfect, so amazing. Really amazing. There are trigger warnings in here, so be aware. Like, there is a mention of rape and pedophilia happening in here. It's really also bloody. Like, if you're sensible, probably don't read this. There are quite graphic scenes in here, but definitely perfect for autumn and Halloween if you want to be a little disgusted and have a little scary moment here. Well, definitely Ninth House, perfect. It is kind of a mix of all the categories that I've talked about, like fantasy, horror, thriller, dark academia. It is all in here. Same as the Atlas 6, maybe not the best one if you want to discover the genre because it is heavy, but definitely a very good one and one that you have to read. It is chef's kiss. Then last one, but definitely not least, that is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. If you've watched my last vlog, yes, you know, this one has become one of my favorite readings of all time. It is a masterpiece. It is just so perfect. I loved it to the bone, like to the bone. I need this book in my life. I just love it so much. It is dark academia. It is really morally great characters. I feel like this one is it's a really dark academia one. Like, it really is the basic dark academia genre where all the characters all like morally go to hell, and the story is so thrilling. Like, you just want to know, and it is so well written. There are like past and present chapters, and I feel like this is so good how the author plays with that, and I loved it so much. And it really talks about more than just who killed the person, as all the other dark academia books as well. But this one really talks about friendship, how it can be toxic, how unhealthy you can be with others, and yeah, it is so perfect. Definitely read this one. It is an easy one, I think, as well, so you can definitely start with that. Now, last category, and this one is for my hopeless summer lovers. I'm sorry for you, summer is over. You kind of need to move on from the romance, but if you still want to read romance, or so, this is not a rule, you can do whatever you want, okay? This is just me being me. But if you still want to read romance, I do have a few autumnal romance to share with you. Now, be aware, because it is autumn, it is kind of like a darker romance genre that I would recommend you. it's the time of the year you can read a bit of dark romance. It's fine, you know, no one will blame you for that. It's fine. So the first romance that I would definitely recommend for autumn is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. It is a Persephone and Hades retelling, so definitely perfect for autumn. It is kind of a dark romance. I feel like this one isn't that dark. The second one, dark romance. This one is still fine. I would probably recommend you to dive into this book expecting it to be bad, okay? Because I've heard a lot of bad reviews, and I did dive into this book telling myself it's gonna be so bad because of all the bad reviews that I saw, and I loved it. I loved it. So definitely expect for the worst and you will find the best. That's my motto. But yeah, A Touch of Darkness, still really good. Definitely autumnal reading because the underworld, Hades, we love it. Actually, in the same vibe, there is The Ungods by Katie Roberts. So same Hades and Persephone retelling. I didn't really like this one though, so I would recommend you A Touch of Darkness over this. But if you still want to read another Hades and Persephone retelling, there you go. Another very atmospheric autumnal romance. It is fantasy. Well, is it fantasy? It's not really fantasy. Low urban fantasy, that would be. And that is A Discovery of Witches. And I thought this book was fantasy, so I didn't expect it to be a romance. And it was a romance, actually. Oh my god, hello! A romance between a witch and a vampire. What is more autumnal than that? I don't know, you tell me. They are not enemies to lovers, but they are not supposed to be together, so it can be considered as enemies to lovers, you know. It is really good. It is a chunky reading as well. There are 3 books in this series. I still haven't read the other one, but I did buy the second one, and I'm gonna read it this autumn, so join me. Read A Discovery of Witches and we'll read Shadow of Night together. I don't know. And then last but not least, it is a light-hearted romance. It is a cute one, but it is definitely a very Halloweeny autumnal romance, and that is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. So this one is really cute, like really cute. It is a love story between 2 witches, and the guy is named Rhys. That was just enough for me. I was like, okay, I'm reading it. So this one, definitely perfect atmospheric romance that is really cute. And there is another one that is The Kiss Cursed, and I think it comes out at the end of the month, I think. So definitely check it out because The Kiss Cursed was really good as well. I read it as an ARC and perfect, just perfect. There it is, guys. That was the autumn book guide. So as I've said, there are other books obviously, but I just couldn't fit them all into this video, otherwise it would be 1 hour long, and you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. So I feel like 20 minutes of me rambling is enough, you know. I hope that you liked this idea and this video. If you have any recommendations, drop them. And yeah, that's it, I think. I wish you an amazing autumn season, an amazing Halloween season, an amazing spooky season, and I hope that you will read a lot, enjoy all of your readings, watch a lot of spooky movies, and just enjoy. I love it so much. I'm so happy it's finally here. The weather as well, it feels very autumnal, so I'm so happy. I'm beyond happy. So yeah, I hope that you're happy as well. Hope that you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, to subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. And I will see you guys very soon in another video. Until then, take care. Bye, lovelies.